Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I am here today with you for another video. We are going to make a really fun card. If you've never made a shaker card, you've come to the right place. We are using the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set, and this is our shaker card. We have separate channels for the different parts, and it's going to be really fun. I'm going to be using the die cut machine today, and I normally have everything die cut, but I did want you to see kind of how everything works. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you the inside. It says sending you a rainbow of happiness, and on the outside it says you make me happy. So it's a really fun card just to pass on some joy to those you love. I'm going to set it right here in the corner, and I'm going to move these things out of the way. We are using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine embossing folders called Stripes and Splatters. They're pretty awesome, and I highly recommend them. They're in a mini catalog. If you do not have a mini catalog and you do not have a demonstrator, please get in contact with me, and I would be happy to remedy that situation for you. So let me just move that stuff out of the way. I am going to let you know that I have already run this piece of basic white. It is 4 by 5 1/4 through that embossing folder, the splatter. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Hopefully you can. And we are going to color that over in a beautiful color called Pool Party. It's one of my favorites, and I love to use it as a nice light background. So we are going to be using our blending brush and our Pool Party ink. I'm going to start that first, and then we will go ahead and die cut so that we already have it already set up. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to pick up some Pool Party in a circular motion. And I'm just depositing that color onto the splatter to really help pop that splatter out of the background. Adding that color pops up the sections that are lifted by the embossing. And I'm going ahead and adding a pretty heavy hand here to deposit a decent amount of Pool Party ink. Let me go one more time, just for this side here. All right. I think we're good there. All right, hopefully I haven't moved my mat around too much, but if I have, forgive me. While I'm thinking about it, we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna die cut this out of this piece, and we're gonna be using this large die right here. It's all together. I will show you. And this is the dies that are part of the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. So I want to place this die to the left here on my card, and I want to leave some room on the bottom here and the side so I can adhere it to my card. We're going to run that through our die cut machine in just a minute. I want to go ahead and punch out my cloud punch here. We're going to use a piece of Pool Party, and this is the awesome cloud punch. I love it. So we're going to open this up and stick our piece of Pool Party cardstock in here and give it a punch. So we'll have that ready. I do like to trim the excess. So I will be cutting this away, and then next time I need to punch something out of Pool Party, I will have a piece to do so. All right. We'll be done with our punch. Let's do a little stamping. Before we bring out the die cut machine and do all that fun stuff, hopefully we can get a little stamping done. So I'm going to move this over to the side as well. And we are using a little piece here of basic white cardstock. I want to try and prop that card up there. Okay, so this is what we are going to stamp the You Make Me Happy, and we are stamping that in Melon Mambo. And here is our ink. And this is just a scrap I had of the I'm bringing it down here to the bottom. Hopefully I'm not out of camera, but I need to see and I don't want to put my head in the camera, so hopefully this is working out. So this is just a scrap piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to close this for right now, and we're going to mount it onto a scrap piece of Daffodil Delight. And I really like that really pretty yellow color. I'm going to trim these ends here with my paper snips. I just want them to be a little bit closer to the end, but I wanted to leave myself some room there. So we will go ahead and trim that away so it's a little close. I wanted to give myself some room in case, you know, I stamped to one side or the other. I didn't have to try and make it perfect. I could line it up. So now we're going to go ahead and attach some of our wet glue, our multi-purpose glue. I love this glue. I use it a ton. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on the back. I'm going to flip that over onto this little scrap piece of daffodil. That looks pretty good to me. Doesn't have to be perfect, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. We're going to snip that with our paper snips, and there is our second element. I also have some of this beautiful polished pink open weave ribbon. I love that it has this beautiful border on both sides of the ribbon, and it's such a pretty ribbon. I'm going to put that off to the side as well. Okay, now we are going to stamp the inside of our card. Let me show you that. So we're adding our little rainbow in there. So we are using a piece of basic white thick, and I like to use that because it gives it some nice hold. It's a little bit thicker than our regular basic white. And using our bone folder here, we're going to burnish down here. So it's an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece that has been scored at 4 1/4, and I have burnished it. And we are going to stamp on the inside this cute rainbow. Isn't it adorable? What I love about this stamp set is that you have the 4 stripes, and then you have some words, and you have this really cute little dashed piece. You have some speckles, you have some raindrops, some hearts. This is kind of like a puddle, which is kind of cute. And then the little tiny word thank you, I think, is adorable. So it's a really awesome little set. So we are going to be making our rainbow. I'm going to start with the large in Mango Melody. Then I'm going to do Melon Mambo for the words. And then I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo for our next bow on our rainbow. So I'm going to open my card. And since this is kind of a larger stamp, I like to bring the ink pad to the stamp. So I'm going to just bring it over here, and I'm tapping my ink pad on here, and I'm just making sure that there's no blemishes, that there's nothing on the rubber, because if there is, it will definitely come out. So you just want to make sure if there's any fuzzies, like I have a bunny. Well, it's not my bunny, it's my daughter's bunny, but I do watch it in my craft room, and he has really fine hair. And so sometimes, which is what's happening right here, is one of his little hairs gets up on these stamps, and then they don't want to grab the ink perfectly. So I'm just double checking that I don't have any more fuzzies on here. I think I'm good now. And we're going to stamp this kind of a little bit to the top like this. And this is going to be the top bow of my rainbow. So there is the top one. Our next one is going to be the words, and they're going in Melon Mambo. This one's a little smaller, so I can ink it right into the ink pad. And I will clean that in a minute. I'll clean them all at the same time. So I'm going to bring this down here, and I'm just going to line up my words, and that will be my next bow of my rainbow. And then the last one is going to be Flirty Flamingo. Again, I'm just going to double check that I don't have any fuzzies on my stamp, and if I do, I'm going to wipe them before I have ink on there. Should have checked that big one before I started. Okay, this one looks good. And then this is the third bow. So we're going to just fill in right here. So there's our cute rainbow. Isn't it adorable? Super love it. So let's go ahead and put the Flirty Flamingo away, and let's clean these stamps. I can let this go off to the side. We don't need that anymore until it's time to put the whole piece together. So when I clean my stamps, I like to use my chamois. I'll start with the smallest stamp first. Give it a nice little scrub here. All right. Next step, we have to cut out that section because we have to layer onto the top of our card. Let me make sure I have that pressed really well with my bone folder. Okay, so we have to layer up here. We're going to put this beautiful rainbow section together. So the first step is going to be to cut this piece out. So I'm going to do that first. Let me move everything out of the way and bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I can't use the mini today because the piece that I'm using is 4 inches and the mini goes up to 3.5. So hopefully you guys will be able to see it in camera. This guy is kind of big, but it doesn't take up much room because the sides go up, which I love. So we'll place those down. We're going to grab our base, which is plate number 1. You'll see here it has a number 1. And then we're going to put number 2. Whenever you use the steel dies, you want to use number 2. Number 3 is my well-loved piece that gets cut. I'm going to put my cardstock in here. I'm going to slide that into the machine a little. Then I'm going to put my cardstock down here. I'm going to angle it. I like to put my dies kind of in on an angle when I put them into the machine. I think that's a good placement right there. Just want to make sure I'm straight at the bottom. Then I'm going to put my next sandwich in, or my number 3 on top. And then all I do is just turn the handle. I know you guys can't see the handle. And I'm going to hold up here. And I'm just going to run that through. And when I remove my die, I have the cutout right there, perfect for my background. So I'm just going to move my plates out of the way, close up my machine. Okay, so now we've cut this die cut piece and we are going to attach our window sheet to it. So I have a piece of window sheet. I know it's pretty hard for you guys to see it, but I'm going to try and like wiggle it so that you can see it flashing with the lights in the room. And this is going to be glued down directly on to this piece because we don't want our pieces to fall out, right? So we have to attach it. And the way that I like to attach the window sheet is to use wet adhesive. So I'm just going to go around and just put a line of adhesive, and then I'm just going to follow that line up and around because obviously there's going to be some over here as well. And I'm going to try and not put too much near the edge. I don't want it to ooze out in any way. So if I have put too much, I'm not squeezing anymore. I'm just kind of wiggling around what I already have in place because I don't want any oozing. So when I place down my piece, I'm going to be really careful and not press too hard. But I do want, obviously, the window sheet to adhere to my piece. So we're going to go ahead and place it down like so. And just move it into place and just lightly press so that the adhesive does grab. Okay. While that is attaching itself to the window sheet, we are going to use our foam adhesive strips. They come in a pack like this, and there's 40 strips in the pack. I have done quite a few shaker box cards, and they last, so don't be afraid to use these. So we're going to start on the edges, and we're going to bring the strip down. We're going to make a basic frame around our card. We're going to use our paper snips. So there's the first piece, and we're going to butt the pieces up to each other. We don't want any air or any space, because if there's space, then what will happen is our card will not, our pieces, our shaker parts of our card will fall out, right? So we don't want that. So let's grab another strip, and we're gonna put that here and cut, and then we'll do the final one all the way around. So we'll have our basic frame. Sorry guys, I keep going out of camera. I don't mean to. All right, so here is our basic frame. When I get to this piece, I'm just gonna bring my scissor and I'm gonna slide it right along that side, and that cuts it right there, and then that butts along there. So there's our 4 pieces. I'm gonna put this piece on the side here. I'm gonna grab another strip. And I'm going to start with this largest piece first. So I'm gonna butt that up against there, and I'm just gonna follow these white lines, because I want to form a channel so that each one of these shaker elements will fit in its own little channel. As you can see on this card right here, it's not one big box that they're all sliding. They're all in their own little version of the stripe. I really like it because I think that it just adds, you know, it's more purposeful. So that's why I'm using that. So I'm going to grab this piece that's left over, and I'm going to start it for this second strip. And when I run out, I will just grab a small piece that was left. And I think I have one more that will fit perfectly in here. Let's just put this one. Find the sticky part. There we go. Right there, and just make sure that they fit, because I don't want any space. There we go. So that, as long as it doesn't show through my window sheet, that works. So there's, see how you splice the pieces together. So let's grab another strip. All right, and we're gonna work this one. Again, following that white piece. Just like that. All right, and our last piece, we do have to put one here because we do not want that channel to be bigger than the other ones. So we will go ahead and put a strip here as well to keep this channel. So now we have 3 channels. We have to put one more right here. I'm gonna grab a full strip. I'm gonna put that little portion there on the side. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the full strip and do like I did with the other ones. Just follow along, just like so, all the way around until I have reached my end. Snip right there. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 channels. Now I have this open section. I don't really want to leave it open. I want there to be some stability. So I'm going to actually push that against this piece, and I'm going to run right to the corner, and I'm going to cut along both pieces like that. And that will give some stability on the card. When it's flipped over, it won't fall right there. That kind of makes it all perfect. All right, so I'm gonna put these pieces that were left over back in my baggie. Okay, so now we have our channel set up. So now what we're gonna do is, you can see behind this one, I've used some rainbow glimmer paper, and I chose to use the pink and the yellow and the orange piece. And for this one, I'm gonna do the green, the blue, and the purple. I just think it's super pretty. And so I'm gonna hold it here for a minute and decide, do I want the purple at the top or do I want the purple at the bottom? I think I want the purple at the bottom. So when I glue this backing on, I wanna make sure that my green is at the top. So let's go ahead and flip it over. Now we're gonna fill our little channels. And we are using our Sparkle and Shine sequins. They're in the mini catalog. So let me grab some of those. I did put a little piece of, I like to put these in there. It's just dryer sheets, and it helps the static factor. I mean, they're still static, don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad. So I'm just gonna follow along, and I just want to make sure that I have enough in each of the channels. So I want to make sure that I have in all of the channels. I'm just kind of flicking anything that's stuck to my fingers to release them. Now, the only channel that I don't want them in is obviously the ones that aren't going to show, right? So if any jump in where they're not supposed to be, I'm going to move them. These little stars don't want to come off my nail. There's one. Okay, I got them down. Now, of course, they're where they're not supposed to live, but we'll see if I can get, there's one of them. All right, and let's get a little bit more because we want to put some in this smaller channel here. And I'm just going to put a little bit more here. And in the larger channels, of course, they're bigger, so they need a little bit more. And let's just put a tiny bit more in the smaller one. And then I'm just going to finish flaking off what's on my hand. Hopefully it will come off. I think it did. I have a little bit in my palm on this side. And there's a piece there. I think I'm, oh, a star. Those stars like me. All right, I think I'm clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover that up. And now I'm just gonna use my scissors to make sure that none are stuck to the pieces that we have to peel away. And if they are, I'm gonna just slide them into their channels. The stars, I think, are the most static. Those are the ones that have the most. So let's make sure that they're off because we have to peel these backs off, right? Can't have them on there. All right, so let's go ahead and start peeling. So I'm gonna pull, oh, one stuck. We'll see if I can get it into another spot that I haven't pulled the back off yet. And let's pull this one. So that's the second one. I don't want anything stuck to that, so I'm trying to lift those. Now this is the one that had the 3 parts, so I'll just have to take it off slowly. Okay, I think I have a star stuck there. I'm just gonna get that off with my scissor. You just have to be careful. It's not hard. It just takes a little time, but anything fun is worth taking the time to do, I think. Okay, so here's this one. All right, let's see. We're almost there. Oh, we have a star in the wrong channel. Let's see if I can slide. There, I did. Okay, and now we're gonna get our sides off. So let's get those. I had an escaped star again. These stars are the clingiest ones, I think. Oh, okay. And I think we have this paper piece to do right there. And then the last one is this long one. I'm trying to put my fingers in between so that they don't stick. All right, so we have all of them off now. Just gonna make sure that anything that's stuck where it's not supposed to be is down in its channel. I think we're good now. Oh, I have 2 stars here. There is a little bit of static that happens, and you want to try and stop what I'm seeming to keep doing, which is flipping those confettis up. But it's unintentional. So you just do your best. You just want to make sure that you get a really good seal, because if they're in the way and you don't get a good seal, then you're going to have the confetti all over the place. So let's just make sure that they're down enough. I think we're good except for this back row. That's where I flung them. So I'm just going to pick them up and put them where they need to be, even if it means pulling them out, because they can't impede my progress or my success. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I appreciate it. All right, I think everything will stick now. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to attach, remember our green is going to the top. So I'm going to bring this down where I could see a little better. And I'm just going to place this over the top, making sure that it fits over there. And we're just going to give it a good press. I'm going to put these extra pieces that I happen to pull off in my container. And then I think we're good to go. We're going to flip the card over and we're almost ready to be finished. The hardest part was putting the sequins in there, right? But it's the funnest part. Okay, so there is our channel, and you can see how pretty it is to have those sequins individually in the channels. It's well worth the effort, right? Look at that. Wow, it's so cool. Now this is going to get attached onto our card front. We've already stamped the inside, so we have to just attach it right here on the front. So let me grab my adhesive. Let's see, we'll use let me just use the wet adhesive. I think that will be better. I don't want to press down on that tape runner, so we're going to go ahead and just run a bead of the wet adhesive. Okay. Let me get our trash out of the way. All right, and now we can flip that over. And we're going to attach that. And it's good that I use the wet glue because it gives me that wiggle room. I can just get it right in place. I think that looks pretty awesome. I love the difference in the colors. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, so now we're going to attach our cloud. And I'm going to go ahead and add my wet glue. And before I do that, I'm going to put my ribbon in the back. So I'm going to use my tape runner, my seal, and I'm gonna kind of add a little bit to that piece so that it will stick to itself right there. See, that's the trick. Then we're going to add it with a little bit of tape runner right onto our card. I just want to make sure I kind of cut it long, didn't I? I'm going to lower it a little bit. I don't want it to stick off too much from my card, just like that. Then we can add our cloud over the top. I love this little cloud punch. I think it's adorable. So we'll put that in place. Hold that for it to grab. We will get our ribbon cutting scissors. And we will trim those tails because they are way too long. I got carried away, I think. There's one. Here's the other one. All right. And now we're going to put our words, "You make me happy." So I'm going to put the wet adhesive as well along the back. Pick that up, attach it onto our cloud. Just like that. Just let it sit for a minute so it could grab. And then just making sure it's straight. The finishing touch is going to be to use our Playing with Patterns resin dots. And I used the Mango Melody color, the yellow ones, because it really pulled this. But I think I'm going to use these this time because I think it will pull that right out. And I use one of each size. So I'm going to grab a large, put it down here, and a medium. How about right there? Maybe here? Yeah, right there. And then a smaller one. Let's grab one of these. And we'll put it up here. So cute. Those are great embellishments. They're on the last chance list, so grab them while you can. Hopefully they will still be here on the day that this video goes live, because you never know. Last chance is last chance. If it's not, I apologize. But definitely check out the last chance list. Their stuff is going like wildfire on there. All right, so let's look at the inside. We have our cute little rainbow, sending you a rainbow of happiness, and our cute little shaker card on the outside. I hope that you enjoyed watching me. I enjoyed putting the card together for you. If you've never made a shaker card, why don't you give it a chance? I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to see what you make. So leave me some comments below. You can also follow me on all my social medias. The links are in the description below. And if you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. So hit me up. Let me know that that's something that you're interested in. And definitely check out my blog. I do blog on a daily basis, so you can check that out. You get 7 days of inspiration. And this is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping, guys!